Today is Wednesday, March 29th. My name is Jessica, also known as Silver on the interwebs or SilverLuna2112 on Ravelry. Glad to see you 3 times this month. I hope your March has been going well. I want to say a big thank you to any returning viewers. Thank you for coming back time and again. And welcome to any new viewers. Thank you for coming by. I really do appreciate you. There is a bit I do want to talk to you about today, so I should probably get started. So just grab your knitting, your drink of choice, and away we go. So as usual, I'm going to start off talking about the KALs going on that we have right now. The biggest one is our Java Along. It's actually a wonderful year-long KAL premiering all of the wonderful patterns of CC Almond, aka Java Pearl. They're on Ravelry. It does include any project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that has anything to do with or is inspired by the Geeky Girls podcast, Java Pearl, or Damie's Doodles, or is even one of the Java Pearl's designs there on Ravelry. Basically, it will not be hard to convince me whatsoever. Whips will be allowed as long as they've actually been finished this year, so it really does not matter. I am not picky, trust me on that. You can feel free to polydip in any other KALs as long as it fits in with the other podcast rules. Any project that you finish and post counts as one entry for any prizes or even giveaways and things like that. You must be a member of the group, the Silver's Dreamland podcast group there on Ravelry to participate. And if you would like to, you can always post any photos there on social medias using the hashtag SDL so that I can actually find your works in progress in FOs. Who knows, you may actually even be entered into a drawing for Random Act of Patterning Days. We do have a few prizes that are slated for this KAL too. I'm going to be giving away one Java Pearl design pattern every month during the course of this KAL to get your collection started. And even CC has donated several to give away as prizes. I'll also be giving away a copy of the Coffee with CC book, as well as her new book, the Coffee with CC and Dammy too. So just be aware, I'm going to be giving away the physical copy of that new book, Coffee with CC and Dammy 2, there at the end of April. The winners will actually be pulled directly from the FO thread only. Okay. There was also a couple of wonderful prizes actually donated by Nimrus on Ravelry. If you don't know who she is the genius behind Pendia's Jewels and has donated a skein of her hand-dyed yarn on her snug base called Highlands. Oh, so gorgeously green, and it fits. And there's also a set of Harley Quinn stitch markers for me to give away during the course of the KAL as well. And I know there are going to be several other prizes. They haven't quite showed up yet, but I will announce them as soon as they come in the mail. So if you do have any crafty items that you would like to donate as prizes, please PM me on Ravelry, and once again, SilverLuna2112, or you can email me directly at silversdreamlandpodcast@gmail.com. Recently, I also have joined a couple of KALs. The first one I actually just entered a little while ago. They're on the Geeky Girls Love Socks KAL on their board. It's just about over by the end of this week, and I actually just realized how many socks that I have been working on that would qualify for this KAL over the past couple months. So I decided to go ahead and put a few there on the Ravelry board. I'll be talking about at least one of them in the FO section, just so you know. There was a big push to actually finish one of those FOs too, so that it does count. However, if you do have any socks that you finished between February 1st through March 31st, please be sure to go on and enter. Works in progress are allowed as long as you have gotten no further than 50% or one sock of your pair done before the KAL started. There's a list of rules and how to enter in their FO thread, which I'm going to link directly in the show notes and down below. That way you can find it, just so you know. And I even have a reminder myself to go ahead and add that to the video editing process. So hopefully you'll see that by the time I finish talking about it. The second thing I have decided to participate in is the Police Box Mystery Knit Along through the Jimmy Beans of Wool folks. Oh, this time they're doing a stranded color or cowl, and I just cannot wait to get started. The first clue does come out on 4/15, and then every week from there, there are four total links. I'm also going to be putting a link down below as well as in the show notes. That way you can follow along and get any further details. Because, who doesn't want to do a cowl? Especially when it is Doctor Who related, right? So, yes, let's move on to my favorite things. So, on Sunday, the 19th. Wow, my days today, right? I did get together on Sunday the 19th with much of my mother's side of the family. We just had so much fun getting caught up, and we even enjoyed a St. Patty's Day brunch. And the location that we had the brunch at included, of all things, green eggs and ham. I mean, come on, it's funny, right? So yeah, we did have fun catching up while they were all up from Florida. It was pretty fun. I can't say that enough, right? It's rare we all catch up. The second thing that I want to discuss is the new Beauty and the Beast movie. So MTI and I had a date night last Saturday. We did go out to eat and then went to see the movie. I'm going to tell you, it's probably not the best choice to do a 10:40 showing after a full day of work and then before another full day of work, especially when you're not a morning person, just so you know. But I do definitely think that the movie was worth the lack of sleep on my part. I'm not sure about MDI, but he seemed to enjoy it regardless. He's not as big a fan of the original movie or the Broadway shows as I am, but what can I say? I've been obsessed with the movie since I was young. I'd love to give a full review with a lot of details, but I know there are lots of fans out there that just have yet to find some time to go watch it. Hmm. You know what? All right, you know what? I'm going to do it. Okay, so as long as I have this picture up on the screen, I'll actually be talking about the movie in great detail. Basically, when I bring it back down, I will be back to business as usual. So if you haven't seen the movie, now would be the time to go ahead and give this part a skip. Um, I'm going to have this as your spoiler warning, and you have been warned. I'm going to notate the timestamp down below as well as in the description on YouTube as well as the show notes. That way you know how much to skip. Because I'm can tell you right now, I have a lot that I want to discuss when it comes to the movie. I am so happy I was able to go and get a chance to see it. All right. So let me just take a drink and then I'll let you know what I thought, right? Okay. So here goes. I felt like this movie was a great mix of the Broadway shows and the animated movie included together. It was great. There were a lot of things that were explained that fans actually have been wondering about since the initial movie came out, the animated movie, if you were wondering. That's the initial movie when I'm talking about initial movies. There were continuity issues, sorry, that were explained or even removed from the storyline this time around, which kind of really helped. It, you'll have to watch to know exactly the differences, but you know. So the first thing specifically that I want to talk to you about is the difference between the score of the automated animated movie and this newer movie. I know MDI noticed that they seem to slow down the pace of the music, especially of the popular songs. I did notice that too, but I'm actually okay with that. There were so many times when I was younger that I misinterpreted what was being said, as the original score was pretty fast paced. If you are writing for the next generation and you want them to understand the lyrics as well as the melody in the background, you do need to slow the score down. So I really do, I really do like that. So, well done on that part, Alan Menken. Trust me. You'll love it as much as I did. I also noticed that there were a lot of the older themes being used in newer ways that just really worked with the story this time around. So, um, speaking of music, or parts of the score, the annoying human again song from the Broadway shows was included. Well, sort of. It was actually included in a better way this time around. The song Days in the Sun, and another conversation between Belle and the servants really helped explain how the servants felt about being trapped with a prince in the middle of this curse. I always felt that the Human Again song kind of was a patch job to explain that in the Broadway shows. And I don't know, it just didn't work, I guess, well with whatever was, well, the other themes that were put down as well. But honestly, it may just be me being picky, but who the heck knows, right? um, so off of the subject of music, a question that I had was when I was younger was always, so how does the curse know Belle says I love you? Especially after that last petal fell and then his transformation started. Well, they do answer that question too. Agate, or the sorceress, the quote unquote old beggar woman, apparently had been keeping tabs on the whole situation and actually hears Belle whisper it, and so therefore does the reversal of her magic. And honestly, it does. It seemed to mesh with that scene perfectly, even though they were trying to um, keep that scene pretty pure, I guess, of spirit with the original animated movie. But that's fine. Um, so a few other points I noticed. Let's just put it this way. Dan Stevens as the Beast. Ugh, be still my heart. The new song that was written specifically for him to sing was awesome. I told MTI that the song Evermore encompasses that whole scene in the tower where the beast is like clearly in pain and he's howling after Belle when she leaves the castle. Basically, we know at that point that he's fallen in love. The song itself, Evermore, just it helps encompass that, but with actual words, and gives the howl pretty much the voice that we need to understand how much pain he is in. And we can tell even further in the scene that he's actually fallen in love with Belle, which, oh, awesome. It was awesome. It encompasses that whole scene to a T. I'm going to tell you also, speaking of Dan, I actually did not recognize him at all, when he's just the prince in the very beginning. I actually did not recognize his face until he had already transformed and was in the makeup. Oh, let me tell you, I didn't. I don't you can laugh at me all you want. But yeah, so the makeup and prosthetic people did an awesome job showing off his already strong features and just making them part of what you would expect from a beast-like character. I mean, you didn't see that just now, but I really was making air quotes. And I'm gonna tell you, I totally geeked out at the end after the transformation sequence. Just ask MDI. They put Dan in the exact color and length of that hair in the animated movies. Oh, so gorgeous. I mean, even when I was younger, I wanted to run my hands through that mane of hair. All right. You know what? Before I go to a creepy place, let's just move on. Um, all right. So my favorite line that Dan has as the Beast, he says, "I am no beast." See, when Gaston kept pushing his advantage and just like taking totally advantage of his distractions during their battle, he just gets to state the obvious when he spares Gaston's life. I mean, he has changed over the course of the movie. and there's so subtle differences that we can see in him, but also like, uh, I mean, I noticed that there was a slight um, color change, blue change of his coats as the movie went on. Like it got lighter and lighter. I don't know if it's just me, but I kept thinking that it was a subtle way of marking the different milestones that the beast has to take, wow, as he's undergoing his change. So it's not just a going from being a beast to being the prince again. It's also a transformation as a human being, so to speak. And that, you know, I'm good. I'm good with the subtle changes in people, right? Okay, so enough about Dan. We're gonna move on. Emma Watson definitely was awesome as Belle. Belle has always been a strong role model for me, and I think that Emma did a really good job encompassing all that Belle has ever stood for me. It does seem like Bill Condon, if you don't know, the director, played on this a bit more than the animated movie did, which is pretty awesome. It was like he wrote part of that script just for her. I mean, there were it's gonna sound mean, but there were some promo videos flying all over the social medians prior to the movie's release. I have to tell you, some people can be mean. They were trying to use a hashtag not my bell, which I did. I thought was pretty mean. Emma is a very strong woman who encompasses this character of Belle. Just because her voice is not what you're used to doesn't mean you have to be so rude. Give her a chance. Trust me. She so is, and I'm going to use a hashtag myself. She is hashtag my Belle. So if you would like to join in on my anti-hatred, I guess, of this new Belle character, please feel free to go ahead and use the hashtag if you agree with me. You don't have to. It's just something I was thinking of for quite a while. So yes, I also like that Emma Thompson also gets to play the role of narrator as well as a more motherly Mrs. Potts. She and Nathan Mack, who are Chip, are more evenly matched as as mother and son. We get to see a lot of they get to play off of each other, which is pretty cool. I also gonna note in here too, we finally learned what happened to Mr. Potts, which was pretty cool. It was actually built into the story. I won't give anything away about that because yeah, it's pretty cute. You have to see it for yourself. Um, I also am going to note Maurice was a stronger character in this movie too. We finally learn what happens to Belle's mother and more about how Maurice feels about Belle and not just as a okay, well he's an inventor and he's kind of like the absent-minded professor type, but he actually does what he does to protect her when he can and we see that he's more upset when he has to leave without her, that kind of thing as well. Another point I'm going to mention, LeFou isn't just a lackey this time around. Oh no, he has more of a presence for himself, and he even tries to temper Gaston's bully side. Like he does. He's like, oh, he's great. I love him. So yeah, what I also like is that both Maurice and LeFou even get to stand up to Gaston's bullying, which is extremely awesome. It's time that Gaston was showed to be the true monster that I always knew that he was. And I would say more colorful language, but I'm trying to keep it family friendly. So enter, negative phrases there. Anyway, another point about LeFou that I'm going to mention is always knew that there was something more to LeFou's worship of Gaston in the animated movie, and we get to see that more as well in this movie. At the very end, we do see that LeFou finds a partner worthy of him and how awesome he is. If you watch the dance sequence and as well as the fight sequences again very closely, just do that and you'll know exactly what I mean. Um, I'm actually very proud of Disney for including that, to be honest. It's kind of about time. I do have one negative, I guess, about this movie. Yeah, is that there were a few actors that did not get credit for roles that they did in this movie that I always thought were important roles. And if I always thought that if the actor is singing a major part, even in only one song, they should get credit in the main titles at the end. For example, the individual that played the young prince. I mean, he gets credit in the score and even on the soundtrack, yet there's no mention of him in the main titles. And by main titles, I do mean before the scrolling list of everyone that was in it. I mean, I can understand they're trying to keep it minimal, but still. Okay, folks. Spoiler alert is over. You can come back now. So, let's talk about another of my favorite things. Haircuts. Haircuts. I now totally have new hair, y'all. I did get sick of the length and the bulk, and I decided essentially that I needed a change when it comes to my hairstyle. So, thank you to Shelly at All in the Family Hair Design and Architect for your patience with me as I have changed my hairstyle so many times over the past couple of years, and you always do a really good job with whatever curveballs I've thrown your way. You still got it, trust me. Basically, this is how my hair was before, and you can't see it, but the ponytail went down my back quite a bit. Now I have purple hair and it's very, very short and I love it. Oh, I can't stop touching my hair. Like it's up on top of my head now. Oh, I cannot wait to hear people's opinion of it at work. I mean, I've put pictures up on Instagram already and people were commenting, but it's better in person, guys. It's better in person. All right. So I also did get a few shipments over the past couple weeks. I've been waiting for this one for quite a while. It is the Lorna's Laces String Quartet pack that I'm going to be using for the mystery knit along in a little while. Oh, look at those gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Oh, I can't wait to get started, y'all. I really can't. Oh. I also did get a shipment directly from Miss Babs. In the package was two different skeins of Yoza. This one is called You Gotta Love Me. Oh, and I love, love, love this red. It's got like a little bit of black in it too. I could stare at that all day. And I love the fact that she was able to cake that up for me because yeah, my ball winder has been on the fritz for quite a while. So I was like, okay, you know what? A couple bucks extra to go ahead and wind it. It's worth it, especially for 560 yards. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I had the same with the color Morticia, which is this white and little tones of blue. Oh, I cannot wait to get started on anything with that. Oy. But yeah, so the third shipment that came in was through the Luby U. I decided I needed to get larger size 9 cables, especially if I was going to be doing a what do you call it? Doing another Yowza shawl. And since I did buy two of each, I kind of want to make enough room on these needles for it. So I did get two size 9s. They are the 60-inch red lace Chaigu needles. And also with that, since you can't just get needles at Loopy U, you have to get some wonderful, wonderful yarn, right? It's not my fault. It fell into the cart. But this wonderful color from Fiber Nymph Dyeworks. I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm tripping on that, but this is her bounce base in the rock, yeah, Rockability Bride. Dude, words, man. But anyway, I love this color. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous color. And I don't even know what I'm going to make with it, but it is her self striper. So I'm going to have fun either way, right? So, yes, let us once I take a quick drink, I'm going to be moving on to finished objects or finished items. So yes, I did finish 2 washcloths this week. Here's the 1 and 2. And for all of y'all that didn't believe me, this is the pile right here of washcloths that I've finished so far this year. But anyway, I've been using the same pattern for all of them. I'm using the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Ruth Slate. Out of the most recent ones have been out of the cotton candy yarn in the spicy colorway. All of these have actually been knit on a size EUX6 marbles 24-inch circulars. Oh, absolutely love both the I love the yarn. I'm telling you, I love the yarns that I've been using. Not really too much of a fan of cotton, but I'm getting it. I think it's wearing me down, to be honest. I'm kind of enjoying the knits now, especially since a lot of the projects I'm working on are a lot larger and I can't finish a lot of things due to the upcoming start of Stash Dash, but that's my own deal, and I'll explain that in a later episode. So the other thing that I finished this week, I called Snape E Love, is the Snape Stockings by Erica Luter out of the Zitron XXL colorway number 591. See that gorgeous color? These are actually for MDI. He absolutely loves them. I think he's worn them a couple times since I finished them. I figure, you know what? I've made how many pairs of socks myself to his one? I think it was about time to push to finish it. Plus, I also wanted to include that in the Love of Socks KAL. So it was about time. These were actually knit directly on a size US2. They are on they were on a 6-inch rainbow wood DP ends for those. And I managed to keep them on the needles the entire time on those needles. I'm not really a fan of DPNs to a certain degree. Like I can use them without a problem. I just, don't. And I get lazy and try to use 16-inch circulars, but that's neither here nor there. I do have a half object this week. It's called I'll, It'll Give You Wings. It's the French Vanilla sock pattern by CC Almond. I'm using a Woolwise Pure Skein called Wings on My Feet. I absolutely love this color. I was actually knitting on these when we went car shopping for MTI's new car. Surprise, surprise, guys, he's getting a new car. He finally gave in, but that's okay. Anyway, I was working on that and got so many compliments on the yarn and everything like that. For this pair of socks, I've been using several different pairs of needles. I would start off with the size 2 16-inch circulars to do the toe. After that, I would move to the 9-inch circulars. And then I got to the heel plus an inch and a half, and then switched over to 1.5 size 9-inch circulars until I got to the ribbing. Once I got to the ribbing and did a couple of rows, I realized that the knits and purls were that back and forth was really starting to wear on my fingers. So I switched over to a pair of 1.5 Knitter's Pride Naturals. They're on, and then made that the 16-inch circular method from there. I know it sounds completely random when I decided to change that, but it happens, right? But anyway, so let's just move on to the next section. Yes, y'all, I have plenty on the needles. I'm not gonna lie. It's starting to get ridiculous how many things are on my needles right now, but that's my own business, right? Anyway, so one of the newest things that I've been working on since the last time we talked, I am calling Ribbing Mark. It's the pattern is the Weasley rib Weasley Rib by Erica Luter. I have to let you know I am not very far. Obviously, if I'm able to hold the knitting in my hand like that, I got maybe 2 rows of ribbing in and kind of gave up the ghost, so to speak. But it's okay. MTI knows that they're coming for his Christmas socks, but still, I had to at least get them started once I finished his other pair. I thought it was right. Anyway, the colorway on that one is number 578. And I am actually using those same rainbow wood double points that I mentioned before. Oh, so far I do. I really love the yarn and I love the knit. It's not a standard ribbing either, so I have to try to remember it as I keep going, right? Maybe I should just get all the ribbing done. That would be fair, right? Anyway, the next item that I have been working on, I am calling Morticia's Bat Wings. Basically, what's happening is I had been looking around on Miss Bab's site and decided I wanted to do the most cushy, largest shawl I possibly could. So I got 2 Yowza skeins, and I'm going to just, I think I've decided to go up until until what she calls for about 2 ounces of yarn left over before I go ahead and do the edging. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The pattern itself is the Yowza Weight Shawl number 2 by Susan B. Anderson. I'm using the Morticia colorway that I mentioned before by Yowza, or the Yowza skein. Holy buckets. Y'all, you think I hadn't done this before, right? But anyway, right now they are currently on a size US 9. They're 40-inch cables so far. I haven't quite done a lot. I think I am up to 105 stitches total on the needle. So literally just got that started and then put it down. Since I'm in the mood to do very cushy shawls, and I really liked the look of this yarn, I also got 2 Yowza skeins of this particular color as well. I am doing the same pattern, Yowza Weight Shawl number 2 by Susan B. Anderson. Problem is, as I didn't realize until I got into about, I don't know, 200 stitches, the little center sections are supposed to be 2 stitches and not just one. So I think this particular shawl, I'm going to change up the pattern a little bit and go only until about 4 ounces is left. And then that way I can actually duplicate the edging twice over. We'll see how this works. It's going to take me a little bit of time. I'm currently just under 300 stitches right now as we speak. I'm kind of working on it. This one, once again, was the Yowza Weight Shawl number 2 by Susan B. Anderson. Oh, love, love, love this pattern. I have knit it before in the tartish colorway and pretty much stuck with the instructions. And the last time I wore it to a wedding, it kind of kept falling over. Since I do intend on wearing either one of these shawls for the wedding, I wanted it to be able to, well, kind of act like bat wings. So anyway, the red one, this new, I am calling it You Gotta Love Me after the You Gotta Love Me colorway. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, this shawl, absolutely gorgeous. It's now on a 60-inch circular. Also the red lace Chaigu needles. Wow, how many times can I say that this pattern is gorgeous, right? Um, so anyway, before I say it's absolutely gorgeous one more time, I'm actually going to move on to some few patterns that you've actually seen before. I am currently working on the second sock for It'll Give You Wings. I do hope to finish this pair by the 31st, so the end of this week for the deadline for the sock KL. I do have only a few inches left until I get to the second heel, so we'll see. It's up in the air. Pattern for that once more was the French Vanilla Socks by CC Almond. I'm using Wings on My Feet, which is a Woolmice Pure skein. And once again, I'll just be using the same needles I used on the other one as well, because I've got a match, right? But yeah, if you were wondering why the 1.5 came around size-wise, I have realized that doing a vanilla sock on size 2s is overly ridiculous. But I am very reluctant to go too much smaller until I see how my gauge works up with the 1.5. So we'll see. It's all in the name of science, y'all. All in the name of science. All right, so the second thing that I have been working on a lot more that you've seen before, I'm calling Exterminate the Rainbow. Sorry about the random picture, guys. I was trying to get the heel to stand up a little bit so you can see it, but I am just past the first heel on this sock. It is called the Catch the Rainbow Socks by CC Almond. Um, Basically, that is the most awesome sock pattern name she can ever come up with. They really do look like little rainbows on your feet. um, the yarn that I'm actually using is the Rainbow Exterminate color on the Viso base, sorry, through Desert Vista Dye Works. I absolutely love this pattern. I'm using a size 2 US 2 16-inch circulars, my normal method. I didn't want to change it up too much. But if you can see the silver or gray that's at the toe there, that's actually I'm going to be doing contrasting heels and toes. I am not sure about the cuff as of yet. Usually I'm able to get a little bit of a cuff, but not much toward the end. I'm going to play that by ear, I think. I'll let you know. I had wanted to try to get this one done by the end of the week, but that's not going to happen as I'm not even on the second sock yet. Oops. Um, I also have been working a little bit more on the 2017 pile of washcloths. That's literally like 3 rows, so it's horrible. But that was also the Bernat or Renee, if you want to pronounce it that way, Cotton Candy Collection, the spicy colorway, as usual on my US 6 Marbles 24-inch circulars. So, what you're reading or listening to, Silver? Well, as usual, quite a bit. I try to balance my knitting life with what I'm reading, but I've always been a book fiend. Let's just call it that. So yeah, this week I basically consumed as many books as I possibly can, but most of them were fluff. So I'm not really going to list them all off. I'm sorry if you're looking forward to a list. But yeah, but they're all on Goodreads. You know where to find me. Um, a couple that are very notable. One is called The Invoice. I heard about this from Knit the Books podcast. They really seem to enjoy it. The premise of the book is that this guy receives an invoice for all of his like happy moments or basically he gets charged for everything that he's ever experienced in his life, etc. And he thinks, oh, it's too high, whatever. It gets you thinking about like, okay, well, I guess I got a lot of good things in my life. I don't need to like be always, mean or not wanting to talk about things, whatever, right? Um, anyway, the other thing that I did listen to this week, actually, or I finished listening to this week, was Lauren Graham's new book, From Gilmore's to Gilmore's and Everything in Between. Absolutely loved that book, especially having the audible version of it where she reads the book for herself. Um, I kind of really enjoyed the fact that the pictures in the book were in their own separate PDF, so I can go ahead and like look ahead and, oh yeah, I remember her talking about that kind of thing afterward too. So, I mean, that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I kind of enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie. I am currently, unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, still in the middle of The Shining by Stephen King. I really do have to get back to that. And then I've also been reading a little bit Seven Up by Jana Abakovich. Yes, folks, I went back to it. hopefully there'll be a review of it soonish, right? I have also been listening to more of the complete Sherlock Holmes series, and it's being read to me by Simon Vance. I've actually just started the fourth volume, literally last night. So yes, so if you hear any typing, that was me kind of remembering where I was. The stories that I listened to this week, I finished up The Adventure of the Cardboard Box, The Adventure of the Yellow Face, Adventure of the Stockbroker's Clerk, also The Adventure of Gloria Scott, The Musgrave Ritual, the Rodegate puzzle. I can never pronounce it. I apologize. The Adventure of the Crooked Man, The Adventure of the Resident Patient, The Adventure of the Greek Interpreter, The Adventure of the Naval Treaty, and then The Final Problem. I did complete that. I don't know. I'm always suspicious about a quote unquote final problem in any kind of series, especially when, oh yeah, I can see the next one I'm reading is The Hound of the Baskervilles. Yeah, it's a mystery to me why people think they can write in the quote unquote final problem of something or a cliffhanger and you not figure it out, but maybe that's just me being suspicious. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just me. So yeah, before I go on a tangent about that. So, what you watching, Silver? I have been busy with my binge watches this week. I'm not going to lie. Um, I've actually finished watching through Stargate Atlantis, but I did watch 4.12 through 5.1 in the Great Watch, and then there was the Stargate Continuum movie that came in the middle of that, and then I finished off the Stargate Atlantis series. I can't believe how much of the last season I had completely forgotten. Mostly because I think I haven't watched. Well, I know the reason why. I have not watched season 5 as much as I have of the whole SG1 series. I'll have to change that. I promise. I'll try to change my ways. I'll give it a shot. Spin-offs, I will give them a shot. Now you heard it here first. Um, So also, I did get a chance to binge watch through the 7 episodes of the Dead Files that I have been pretty much hoarding on my DVR since the beginning of February, mostly because I didn't realize the series season was back. But yeah, if you have not watched that series, and you are a firm believer in somebody's gifts, definitely give it a watch. You can watch pretty much any episode. You don't have to necessarily start from the beginning, but if you want to, trust me, she gives you a lot more detail in the beginning than at the very end. It is based on, the paranormal. So if that's not your thing, don't worry about that. I won't be mad if you won't watch it. I have also been binge watching True Blood again. I love this series. I am about 3 episodes away from the end of this season. I cannot wait. Or no, I lied. I'm actually up to 1.12 now. So I'm just there. I'm almost there. So yeah, I have also been watching a bunch of podcasts as well this week. I have caught up with the Knit the Books podcast, minus the one that they just put out about an hour ago. I just saw the notification. Sorry, ladies. The Geeker Girls Knit podcast, as well as Round the Twist, Yarn Hoarder, Innis Knit, and the Knit Girls episodes. Guys are awesome. Ah, you keep putting episodes out. I can't keep up sometimes, right? Also, I have started binge watching the Knitmore Girls seasons podcast. Somehow I had kind of forgotten that I hadn't been watching them all along. I don't understand why. But I did start from the very beginning again so that I can kind of keep up and catch up, so to speak. I absolutely love the mother-daughter relationships and podcasts, and yeah, awesome. Very awesome. So yes, I've pretty much zoned on for a while, and MTI should be coming home soon. So I just want to let you know I am very social. You can actually find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am actually Silver Luna 2112 there. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am both Silver's Treats and Silver's Dreamland. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. However, if you do not hear from me within 24 hours, please, please, please feel free to email me directly at silverstreamland@gmail.com. And since, like I said before, I have rambled on for far enough, I know your time is valuable. Please feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own there on the Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. Just stay tuned for episode 22 on April 20th. No, April 12th. So until next time, bye everyone. Happy knitting.